Good morning, Max. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Julien. How is the City of Lights? How are you? How's the evening? And I see you've got trouble. You're in the patient seat.
I'm a bit annoyed, frankly. All right, let me give you the story straight, because I really don't know what to do with it. I'm afraid that's one of those stories where there is just no solution. You have to accept it. So, my daughter is 2.5, going to be 3 sooner or later. That's how it goes. And she has a pediatrician. This is not the doctor she had when she was born, but the doctor she had when she was born. You could only make an appointment 6 months in advance, and when she's sick, 60 minutes, maybe 2 hours is the right time frame. 6 months in advance is pointless. So, and on top of that, original pediatrician would basically take her in, never smile, check her in 35 seconds, moan something, and then get you out. And not a great experience. So now I found, probably when she was 6 months old, I found this fantastic pediatrician. This guy is from another world, is from another generation, is probably over 75. And he should not be working. I mean, he should have been retired at least 10 years ago. But you can feel he loves what he does. He spent at least 15 minutes with the kid, is always trying to get the kid to smile, even though sometimes she's going to be crying because it's about vaccination, but different story. He loves what he does. He's smiling, is genuinely nice. So anytime, and then he makes himself available. So anytime I need to see a doctor, I make sure it's him and no one else. Now, the problem is he's over 75, so he used to work 3 days a week, and now it feels like it's just 1 or 2 days a week. And in the past, you could only call him at 2 specific times in the week between, I seem to remember, 9:30 and 11:30. So you had that very limited time frame. But now it's, you have to call me only on Wednesday between 10:30 and 11. So I guarantee at 10:30 every Wednesday, all the parents are on their phone dialing over and over and over again. And he's very old school, so there is no email, there is no messaging, obviously no WhatsApp. There's only that phone, and it doesn't take anything on the mailbox. So it's purely you have to try your luck. And he's incredibly old school, meaning you have all the paperwork to fill. No credit card, only cash. I mean, all the things you could imagine. But the service is so fantastic, and he seemed to care so much that I don't want to go somewhere else. And this is my issue now, because what can I do about it? I mean, I can't blame someone who should have been retired for over 10 years for not working more. If anything, he deserved to retire on a nice island somewhere, not keep working at his age. So I can't complain about it, but probably I should be expecting other doctors to provide the same service versus him trying to, to play a better game here. And that's my frustration for today.
Yeah, this is interesting. The first thing that strikes me is it sounds like you found him because of a very similar problem with the initial pediatrician, that you could only make a reservation 6 months ahead. It's a different symptom, but it's the same problem of good doctors are so hard to find. When you find one, they're busy to the point where you can't get to them or communicate with them. I don't know if that doctor, you'd be able to send a note and get some written communication back and forth. So, okay, so that one just, there's nothing you can do. It's every 6 months. So it sounds like on top of being very good when he meets with him even once a week for half an hour, is more access than you can get to him than most other doctors directly.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
I mean, most doctors would tell you, okay, well, if you get that issue, go to the emergency room, which is wrong for 2 reasons. It's wrong because we just put way too many people in the emergency room, so they are constantly swamped. They can't provide good service. You end up waiting for 6 hours just to tell you, just take some painkiller and go home and come back tomorrow if the issue is still here. Which
Take 2 aspirin and call me in the morning.
Exactly. That the first thing that's wrong, and the other thing that's wrong here is they basically never able to support their own patient. And I'm not sure I can even blame the doctors. I mean, it's just because there are too many patients and not enough doctors. I'm sure they are trying very hard, but at least the one I've picked offers great service. He's not really much more available than the others. It's very hard to get a hold of him, but once you have him on the phone, he always find a way to, find 10, 15 minutes for you this day, not 6 months from now. And he provides great service. So it's still better, but there's something really wrong about this industry.
That's brutal, because it's similar here. The thing that's happened here that's gotten a lot better is the doctors' offices. They're all like Stanford Healthcare or Sequoia Medical or whatever. There's all these different groups. They all have messaging apps. And I can typically send a message, and within 24 hours, I'm going to get a response from the doctor of, oh, wow, if you got that, yeah, you do need to do something, etc. Getting an appointment, similar to your doctor, it can be months. If it's a real emergency or something, you can find somebody. It may not be the doctor you regularly visit, which is frustrating. It's a scarcity thing. And, I think age helps with this guy being so caring and loving, and the fact it sounds like that's just him, though, that he probably at 35,
Definitely.
he was the exact same way. I don't know how you find another doctor like that, right? Shop around, look, there's reviews and things like that, see if you can find another one.
But the thing is, it's the same for my wife and I. For obvious reason, we don't go to pediatricians anymore. But even finding a normal doctor, we kind of have an official doctor that we never go to, because when you're sick, she's going to be available 3 weeks from now. So you're going to have to visit a new doctor each and every time. Whoever online is saying that is going to be available this very afternoon. But when you're sick, it's timely. What's the point otherwise? So it looks like the entire industry needs to.
My parents used to call it their homeroom doctor. You're kind of your main doctor. Do you see them for checkups once a year or however often you do that? Not even that.
No, not even that, because, you could. But you would have to schedule it 6 months in advance.
Here it's 2 to 3 months in advance, and you do that with your doctor, and that gives you a chance to check in with them, and you build kind of a relationship. Because even scheduling that 6 months ahead, it's okay. It's a regular thing. It's the opposite of, I'm sick, I need somebody now, and that does at least give you a grounding, and there's somebody who knows about you, and you have an ongoing bit of a relationship with. But it's a bit of a relationship. It's very similar here in terms of doing that.
And I'm kind of jealous of the relationship that my grandparents used to have with their doctor, that would follow the whole family for 40 years straight, and would know everyone personally and show up at their house when they had a problem. Now, even if I have 40 degrees fever, I need to go online, find a doctor, drive myself to the place. It's just not the same level of service anymore.
No, it's not. And my childhood model was not good, because it was very good, but it was not a real model, because my pediatrician played bridge with my parents 3 times a month. So he was just like one of my parents' best friends. So when I broke my arm, they're like, we're not taking you in. He's coming over here tonight to play bridge. We'll check you out then. It was
probably because he owed your parents money, and that's why it was so easy to get an appointment. Well, now you make me feel better.
So I don't know. My daughter is a nurse practitioner, and she can do everything a doctor can do with less training. Not surgery, but she can do, certainly, work in emergency room, be a regular visit for check-ins and things. And that kind of expands the pool if you do that. And I think maybe that's the one hopeful way to handle this, is you've got the doctors, kind of put them up a level on what they're doing, and have another level of, I need to check in, I need somebody to do that. If you've got another level of resources available for that, then you've got a bigger pool and you can start serving a little bit better.
The model itself needs an update. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, look, at least I do feel better. I don't think we have a solution. That's yet another industry that needs a complete rethinking, along with what was it, media, Uber. We have a few industries that I need to rethink the entire model. But I do feel better, so that's a win for me. Thank you very much for your time, Max.
Sounds good. Thanks, Julien. Have a great
beautiful day. Bye.
Bye.